I have 7 children, which means that any given time over the last 10 years, I've had multiple teenagers at once. People who don't know me feel sorry for me. But those that do know me and know my kids want to know what's different about my kids. Why are they different than a lot of their peers? And although I would love to say, well, it's my marvelous parenting skills and I have all these things to give you, I can't say that. I'm as dysfunctional, if not more so, than the next person. But what I can say and do say is this, that I know that besides the grace of God, one of the number one things that's made a difference in the lives of my children is homeschooling them. Now, at this point, people usually say to me, oh, I have a lot of respect for those who homeschool, but I could never do it. And you yourselves might be going, it's not something I could do. The whole thing's intimidating. It's a nice idea, but I couldn't do it. Well, more and more people are homeschooling their children every year and becoming successful at it. Statistics show from the National Center for Education Statistics that homeschooled children, the amount of children homeschooled has risen from 850,000 in 1999 to 1,508,000 in 2007. And today, there are over 2.04 million children being homeschooled. My goal today is to take away the intimidation that you feel when you think of the idea of homeschooling and to help you make an informative decision. Homeschooling's not for everyone, but I want you to understand this by me showing you the steps and answering a few questions, what it is all about, so that you aren't making a decision based on the supposition of, I can't. Let's begin with the first steps. Number one is you need to know the law of the land. Every state is different. You can check with your state, or a good resource is HSLDA, Homeschool Legal Defense Association, and they'll give you all the criteria you need for your particular state. You might need to sign up with an umbrella school, which is basically a covering for your homeschooling, where you send your grades and attendance reports. And every state's different. Some are very lenient, some are strict. According to HSLDA, only a handful are really strict in their homeschooling regulations. Next, you need to decide what your homeschool is going to look like. What kind of a teacher are you? I have friends that can take a book on baseball and turn it into a whole curriculum for math and science and English and reading. I can't do that. I have to have everything spelled out for me. I need the curriculum, I need the teacher's guides, and then I can do it and I can teach it and I can add my own stuff to it. Then you need to find out how your kids learn. Do they learn by giving them a book and they just soak it up? Or do they need hands-on experience in order to really learn something? Good resource for that is Cynthia Tobias's The Way They Learn. After you've discovered these things about yourselves, then you need to order your curriculum. Now, as you can see, there's multiple resources for curriculum, and this is just a handful of them. My favorite is rainbowresource.com, because they will give you an outline of every single book that's in their catalog and tell you exactly what it's about, what's good, what's bad, what kind of kid it works for, and it really is a good resource. Another good thing is curriculum fairs, because then you can go and actually put hands-on and go through the different books and see what they're like. Also, you need to hook up with a support group. Every city has a local homeschool support group, and they offer co-ops where you get together once a week during the semester to teach things like science and art that are better in group settings. They'll have field trips and mom's night out, and it's really essential for your homeschooling experience. If you decide to homeschool, you'll need to be flexible, you need to be patient, and you need to offer opportunities for your children to socialize, especially with other homeschoolers, so that they are in a like-minded community. So those are the steps it takes to homeschool, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions and have heard a lot of stereotypes about homeschooling. And so I'd like to answer just a couple of those. You might be wondering, how do I know if my children get the right education? According to the National Home Educated Research Center, the home educated typically score 15 to 30% higher on public schools, over public school students on standardized academic achievement tests. So generally speaking, homeschoolers are getting what they need. There are some states require you test them to make sure, others don't, but you always have that option to test. And there's also books that will tell you if you have questions on whether you're in the right space or not. What about college? Will my kids be prepared for college? I have to say my girls were actually a little bit more prepared than some of their peers because they know how to self-study. As you know, when you're in college, you don't have someone standing over you telling you how to do your work. And as a homeschooler, you're used to that environment, and it really helps. Also, homeschoolers tend to score higher on ACT and SAT tests than their public school counterparts. And a lot of colleges are recognizing the value of a homeschool student and are recruiting them. What if my child has a learning disability? Now that's a difficult one, but a lot of people are actually pulling their kids out of school when they have learning disabilities so they can give them the one-on-one attention they need. And there are multitudes of resources out there to help you with that, and some public school systems are even required to give you the help you need with your homeschooled child. I have gone over the steps it takes to start homeschooling and answered a few of the questions, although I'm sure there's many other questions you might have. And resources to get those questions answered are, one of the best is to talk to other homeschoolers. What has their experience been? Many of the homeschool groups also have Q&A sessions once or twice a year to help people understand the homeschooling world and whether it's something they want to do. Also, hslda.org has a lot of resources for homeschooling. Just about any question you would have, they could either answer or send you to someone who could. I hope that I have taken some of the intimidation out of homeschooling for you, and that you can actually now consider it and be informed rather than being afraid of it. If you do decide to homeschool, you need to enjoy the journey. This time with your children is some of the most precious times in your life. And one of the best gifts you can offer them is the love of learning. Thank you.